B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N. 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 B-R-O-O-K. We well. Okay, we well. Okay, we well. Okay, we well. B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N.
Yo, it's Big Fan Breezy. I'm here with special guest Miles Reynolds. You know what I'm saying? Ambassador and partner of Coco 5. You know what I'm saying? We here to talk about a plethora of things. But first, I want to say thank you. I really appreciate this interview, man. This is big for me.
No, man, this has been a long time coming. Been following this podcast for a little minute since you got me in tune. A few months back. So I'm happy we was able to make this happen, man. You know, both of us got some busy schedules, so to fit this in for us is special.
Yeah, nah, facts, man. But speaking of schedules, man, Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? I know the year just turned. So the new year for me, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Miles. I feel like starting this interview is one of the biggest things that could have happened. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's like I told you, this is like a season finale thing. You know what I mean? I really feel a lot of gratitude towards it because I think some of the things that you're doing is amazing right now. You know what I'm saying? Everything you got going with Coco 5, and I wanted you to kind of like talk to us about it because it's fairly new. When I seen you, my introduction to Coco 5 was when I met you. I didn't see it on a commercial. I didn't see it, you know what I'm saying, nowhere. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? I wanted to say, you know what I mean, good looking for putting me on to that, you know what I'm saying? Because I am on the health path, and I feel like Coco 5 is if somebody wants to that has a healthy lifestyle, they can enjoy a Coco 5.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, how'd you get into Coco 5? Like how'd you?
Yeah, so it kind of was a journey getting to this point with Coco 5. And for those who don't know, I know this is a New York based crowd primarily. Coco 5 is an all natural coconut water, natural hydration beverage. It contains the 5 essential electrolytes your body needs, for key performance and key recovery. So in 6 different flavors, and we kind of got started in Chicago. And I got in tune with Coco 5 a while back, at least 10 years ago, because my dad, he was an avid, very health oriented type of guy, and always kept up with his health to the fullest, kind of like yourself, Breezy. Always looking for that next product to kind of keep their body going and keep them healthy. So he kind of stumbled on Coco 5 in Chicago born and based company. And he really just, he really just went up to the owners and was like, how do I get involved? And so he was actually one of their, and so he was one of their first investors, way back, like a decade ago. And so you fast forward, my dad was always sending it to me and some of my buddies in college. Jaleel Okafor was at Duke. He was sending him some. And Duke still orders to this day. Book was at Kentucky at the time. We were sending him some. All of our guys, kind of putting them on alternative beverages to the Gatorades, to the other substances that might be a little bit cleaner for your body. So
what flavors did Coco 5 start with? Like from the beginning, what flavors did they have?
So from the beginning, it was cherry, limon, the coconut, and then orange, and then within that they implemented a passion fruit and a pineapple, and now we got something coming real soon. For a sneak peek for the Breezy Pod, the great. I can't show him too much, Breezy. I can't show him too much, but But it came a point in around 2021, 2022, where we kind of had the opportunity, my dad and I, to put together an investor group to buy Coco 5, to buy the whole company, or at least the majority shares. And then within that, we brought some of the originals that we were putting onto the brand since day one. Devin Booker, D'Angelo Russell,
Wow.
former Nets legend.
Yeah.
Derrick
Devin
Rose.
Booker did his bad the other night. Sidebar, like he came in, he did work to the Knicks and the Nets. So
I
yeah, he
told you, he
nice,
loves New
man.
York. He loves New York, man. He loves the bright lights.
Yeah, I'm sure he do.
He gonna come put on a show every time in the city. But Breezy, within that, we bought the company, and then we moved the company to Arizona around Devin. He kind of got us off the ground in a lot of ways. He got us our foot in the door with Fry's, local Kroger store in Arizona. We got Sprouts national distribution. And these are all in the first year, a lot to do with to Devin's influence in the Arizona market. So now we're
It's hot
in.
as hell in Arizona too. I know they're gonna need some Coco 5.
They need the hydration out there. It's in the summertime, you pushing 110, 115. Your body needs
Getting
electrolyte.
cases of Coco 5. Give me 24 pack. Hella hot.
You know what I'm
115
saying?
is hot.
It's hot. It's hot out there, bro. So that was kind of our go-to-market strategy around Book. And he was great for us. We wouldn't be in this position without him. So, and now we've kind of activated Charles Barkley more, and it's brought a lot of opportunities. We're now sold in select Walmarts. We're now sold in the Whole Foods in the Midwest region. Jewel Osco all through Illinois, all 450 Sprouts nationwide. We're penetrating new stores in the Northeast. I know New York's been on us heavy about getting some Coco 5 up here. So we've got a lot in store, and definitely more to come.
All right. So you from Chicago?
I'm from Chicago. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. South side of Chicago, Hyde Park.
You got any favorite parks that you played in Chicago? Like New York, we got something called the Ruckus or Soul in a Hole in Brooklyn. Like, is there any famous parks in Chicago that you hooped at?
Famous parks? Man, no, we don't have the New York parks that you got the outdoors, and it's just every weekend or every week it's a vibe. It's a couple thousand people. We don't have that in Chicago, but I was raised at Foster Park. For those who know, legendary league over there for the shorties and for the ones coming up.
What's the league? Talk to us. What's the name of the league?
So the name. This is like when we first coming up, bro. So it's in the hood, but
I'm here for
it. It's called Small Fry. The league is called Small Fry for the shorties, and
okay.
We play on a smaller. We played on a smaller hoop because we were still super young, probably up to like fourth grade. But that's when everybody really started hooping, and it was super competitive. So we played at Foster.
So that's where you learn how to hoop at Small Fry League and that park.
That's how I learned how to hoop, man. My coach was Miss Foster, Lauren Foster, and we were the Foster Park Pirates. And it was big. It was
well,
big.
Hold on. Let me ask you, what was your number? Because I wanted to ask you, is 3 a special number for you? Because when I was like doing my research and homework, I see you had the number 13, and then I seen you had the number 3. Then I was thinking, like, I don't know, maybe he's like a number guy, and number 3 is a special number for him.
Yeah, number 3 was my number, man. That was like my lucky number.
Okay.
A lot of my favorite players coming up in Chicago at the time was wearing like number 3. So,
all right, like who? Talk to us. Like who was your favorite player?
Well, outside of Chicago, just all in all, my favorite player was Allen Iverson. Like a lot of kids. So that 3, I was trying to get it every chance I get. Some games I'll throw on the headband. In college, I'll throw on the arm sleeve. So I switched it up a lot. Man. But Allen Iverson was a real big influence in my life growing up. Um, you know, I went to Whitney Young High School. For anybody that might know, a basketball powerhouse, and one of the guards before me was his name was Ahmad Starks. We called him Killer Starks, man. He was one of the best point guards to come from Chicago for sure. Definitely in the 2010 or 2000s era. You know, Jerome Randall. I don't know if you guys if your fan base knows of him. Chicago legend too. I believe he's the all-time leading scorer at Cal Berkeley of the formerly of the ACC. Now they might be in the Big Ten. It's hard to keep up with the conferences these days, but yeah, man, a lot of the guards I just kind of studied and watched a lot. I was wearing number 3, so I was just trying to follow suit, man. I was one of those guys where I would watch I would watch people and try to emulate them, try to use their different approaches to their
I
craft.
seen you play. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I went to your highlights. Like you gotta, I don't know if you know that or not, but you should probably do. It's a highlight really. So I went, you know what I mean? I went to YouTube. I went to go see it. I was like, yo, this dude fucking nice. I was like I don't know that you told me that you ball and all of that. But again, like one of my favorite things to see is somebody going to the basket. And more of your highlights was getting to the rim, putting up the floaty using the glass. I ain't gonna lie, I was looking for a dunk. They ain't had no dunks in there. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was looking
hard
for
enough. You must not have been looking hard enough.
I see you throwing dimes, I see you throwing assists. I like alley oops. Like I'm like, yo, like he hooping for real. And I see that you play with passion too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you be calling for the ball, like, yo, give me the ball, give me the ball. Like I was like, oh shit, he a hooper for real. So
Yeah.
that was incredible for me to see, like, because I know you told me you hoop and all of that, but it was dope to see like you actually hooping. You know what I'm saying? I had seen your stats, and I had seen one year you had like average 13 points. I was like, damn, I didn't know he was a bucket. Like,
Yeah.
so let me ask you this real quick before we get to the next thing. What was your highest scoring game in a street game, and what was your highest scoring game in a collegiate game?
In the collegiate game, man, when I was at Oklahoma, I had a couple 20-point nights. I think my highest at Oklahoma might have gotten up to like 24, 20, 23. I think we played Dayton. At the we were in Bahamas, and that was a big game for me. I think I had like 23. Had another big game against Wofford at Oklahoma, but at Pacific I had I think a 30-point game. Well, I know I had a 30-point game. Yeah, we played. I had a 30-point game. I think it was against Pepperdine in Malibu.
Okay.
Malibu. I was feeling good at Malibu.
So okay, all right. So you went to more than one college.
Yeah, I went to 3 schools. So I started off at St. Louis University for my first couple years.
Is that in Chicago?
No, St. Louis. So St. Louis it was like 5 hours away from Chicago. So it was in Missouri. Okay. So not too far. And that was where I spent my first couple years. It was okay. It was a good experience, but it just wasn't for me, I feel like. So
you mean as a player or as a student?
Academics were always fine. I was a good student. I just like basketball and my passion there. I kind of carried that passion to the classroom too, just because I was just competitive with myself, and my mom kept me that way. She always instilled the importance of education. So I was wherever I was at education-wise, I was going to be fine.
I want to ask you a question.
You got to remember though, Britt, like a lot of the schools that, or not a lot, but some of the schools that were recruiting me out of high school were the Ivy League schools. So Columbia was in my big 3. They were in my final 3. So,
wow.
That's
like the top business school, right? Columbia.
Yeah, they're always at the top. So I was fully prepared for that type of education experience as well.
So hold on, you went to school for business?
I went to school for business, correct? Business finance.
Okay, so let me ask you, did you get to college because of a basketball scholarship or an academic scholarship?
Yeah, it was everyone was strictly basketball. I don't know. Maybe I could have got some academics if I actually would have applied to some of those things, but um, I didn't need to.
Hmm.
Yeah. So everything was basketball.
Okay, that's what's up. See,
Yeah.
again, and let me ask you, in those from your role from high school basketball player to your first 2 years as a college basketball player, did it change? Like, what was your role as a high school basketball player, and then what was your role in your first 2 years as a college basketball player?
Man, it changed a lot because in high school we pretty much had like the number one team in the country my last couple of years. And we had the number one player in the country, Jaleel Okafor. So my junior year, we was on the national schedule. We called it Nike Elite School. There was very few of them at the time. I don't know how it kind of goes now, but it was like you had the Jordan brand, like Oak Hill. You had the Matter Days. You had it was a very select few of us, and so every weekend we was on the road playing, and we were nice. We would kicking people's ass most of the time. A lot of the time, So, we won the state championship my senior year. The big fella Jaleel, he was Gatorade Player of the Year. He was State Player of the Year. He was Naismith
What
Player
you
of the
mean,
Year.
big fella Jaleel? Jaleel who?
Jaleel Okafor. Jaleel Okafor.
Oh, word, that was your teammate?
Yeah, that was our big man. That was our center. So
Oh, okay.
you already
That's
knew
what's
what
up.
time
So
it was.
what position did you play? Was you the one or the two?
In high school I was like the 1-2. I was a combo. We would switch up a lot of different lineups, especially depending on, like, my junior year we had a point guard fly in from California. So we weren't like a regular high school. I can't say online that we were recruiting because I don't know if it was
No, but I get what you're saying. I watched the documentary on Cam Thomas, and he was talking about how the school he went to was Oak Hill and how it's an exclusive school if you're serious about basketball. So I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was a different experience, and taking all that winning culture and then not having it in St. Louis my first couple of years, I didn't really like it. Obviously nobody likes losing, and I thought we could have been better than what we were, but things happen. It was a decision that I'm not gonna say I regret, but it was definitely something I was ready to move past and go to a different school. Yeah.
Okay, so the first was that D1? Was that a D1 school?
Yeah, that was D1. It was in the Atlantic 10 conference, the A10. Yeah.
Okay.
They're having a good year this year right now. I think the St. Louis SLU is 17-1, undefeated in their conference right now. So they're probably top 25. Yeah.
All right, that's what's up. But all right, so so what was your all right, so it was the same position though, right? Straight from point guard, stay two guard.
Yeah, at St. Louis, I was mostly all point. I was playing a lot of point at SLU. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of. But when I switched to Pacific, it was more of a scoring role, like what you said. When I was putting up those big numbers, big scoring games, I was more off the ball.
But that's what I'm trying to ask you. Just your love of the game. Like, what you like more? Do you like hitting them with the dime, the no look pass, or you like to score the ball? Like when you hitting that 3-pointer, because they so silly. They left you open. They should have watched the scouting report. And because I'm watching the highlights, and you knocking down these corner threes with grace, and you got a quick release. You know what I'm saying? So so I'm asking, what you like more? Honestly, like, do you like to score more, or do you like to pass more? Like, how you feel?
No, I was more, put pressure on the defense. I was trying to score.
Mm,
Um, I like scoring. I like knocking down. And in high school, I had a lot of open looks because, Jaleel was getting double teamed every play. So I
mm,
would just tee it up um, in high school. But in college, I was more aggressive getting to the paint. But I developed a lot in college, like over my first 2 3 years. I was in the lab. I was getting stronger. I was watching film. I was watching, more other professional leagues than just the NBA. I kind of was able to just take my game to the next level. And then when I transferred, I had to redshirt a year. And so that whole redshirt year, I'm in the gym, 2 3 times a day. I'm lifting 4 or 5 times a week.
just for the people that might not know, when you said red shirt, yeah, what do you mean exactly?
Yeah. So back when I was in college, so this is when I transferred in 2016. Um, and this sounds too long ago, Breezy. My first transfer was 10 years
Nah,
ago.
yeah,
But back
yeah,
then you had
you ain't age a day, man. You good? You ain't age a day, man.
appreciate it. I can say the same with you, but
Appreciate
when you transferred, then you had to sit out a year. You had to sit
it. Okay.
out. So unless it was like medical or you needed a damn good reason back then for to play right away, like a real good
Mhm,
reason. Um, so that was kind of my opportunity to just get better and get in the lab.
mhm. So, back then when you were playing, was NIL deals around?
Man, I wish, bro, I wish after um, going around to some of my old coaches' schools and seeing how well the players are compensated these days. Obviously, everybody would wish it if they were in the position I was in before it happened. But um, no, unfortunately, we weren't. We was we had some little scholarship checks every month. Um, but
Why you say it like that? Why you say it like
because it's
that?
not a
Like,
drop
all
in the
right,
bucket.
you can't you contrasting the NIL deals to the scholarship checks. So okay, for the people that don't know, like what is the difference between a NIL deal monetary wise to a scholarship check? Well, like the scholarship check take care of the shelter, the food, and that's it. Like so, in the NIL deals, you could rent a Range Rover. Like what's going on? Like,
Man, some of these NIL deals, you could buy a house. And I'm talking about a man.
bird?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. No, some of these players they get 7 figures a year. Um,
In
so they
college from an NIL deal. Mm,
no
interesting.
lies told. I've seen it with my own too. So it's not even a comparison. You got kind of like role players in college NIL world now making 500,000. So we would probably yeah throughout the season.
Yo,
So it's
wow.
the game has completely changed, and because of that, NCAA has kind of allowed us, or they got put in a lawsuit where if you were playing in Division 1 from a certain time period, I think it might have been from 2015 to up until NIL started, you could apply for some type of compensation from your services then, which I did,
Mhm.
and the amount that I'm supposed to get, it looked pretty good, but nothing compared to what these guys are getting now. But
Oh,
our
but they
scholarship,
did have a retro compensation thing. They did have that. That's a real thing.
I don't know. I ain't got my money yet, so I'm not gonna say it's a real thing. But hey,
When you get your
the
money, you know it's
process.
real. It's real
I
when you
went through the
get your money.
process. You know what I'm saying? Once it
Okay.
hits my account, I will confirm.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, they trying to back pay for some of the players that missed out.
That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
it
That's
is.
dope.
It's cool if it happens. But the scholarship checks, man, we would probably they scholarships they took care of room, they took care of education. Obviously, they took care of. They gave us like a meal plan in a lot of the places. And outside of that, you maybe have like at a high end, like maybe like 1,000 a month. You might get. I think I might have got like 1,200 at Pacific, and that might have been like the highest. Um,
Okay.
yeah, St. Louis. It was. I don't even want to say. I don't even want to say we was getting like 2015. Bro, I think we might have been getting no cap, no exaggeration. I think we was getting like 350 a month. Yeah,
Damn,
yeah.
that's tough. That's
Three
tough.
fifty a month, and we was putting in a lot of work. So it was definitely like, I
Mhm.
could see why, um, a lot of changes have been made in a relatively fast period because the way they was doing a lot of schools was not humane.
Mhm. It was
Yeah.
really one-sided. It seemed like the, you know, the collegiate, the business side of college, or the collegiate side of business, and what sports bring to the college, that money for none of the players to be represented when they got video games. That's why it made sense to call it name, image, and likeness, because I'm thinking video game money. Automatically, I'm thinking video game money. Like, I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure there's other things, but video game money been big in college for a long time. Like NCAA basketball, they been had video games for college. So I just
Yeah.
imagine how many players would have been well off by just their name being in the game of a college game and they playing for college. I just imagine what kind of, what I'm saying, situation that will put them in a financial freedom. You know what I mean? Who knows? Because I would think that as residual money. At least for that year. Even people might not buy the game after that year, but I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's tough. It's tough because we all played NCAA games. We played basketball NCAA, we played football NCAA.
Word.
Those were some of the games we was kind of raised on in the early 2000s for me. Um,
Mhm.
so and I think it obviously could have changed a lot of players' lives. There's a ton of players that in those games were rock stars. You got, the Blake Griffins, you got Adam Morrison's, Gonzaga, you got Sharon Collins, Kansas, like Derrick Rose at the Memphis. The college games used to be a vibe. So, I'm glad the guys these days are kind of reaping the fruits of their labor.
Yeah, nah, I think absolutely, you know what I'm saying? I concur. But I wanted to also ask you, uh far as the last college that you went to, it was Oklahoma, right?
Mm-hmm. Oklahoma University, Boomer Sooner.
You mm-hmm. I peep game. I went to your IG. I see you was in. I ain't gonna say the Sweet 16, but y'all definitely went to the next round on something. Know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
just talk to me about that, because it looked like you had a lot to do with that game. You was a big part of that. Y'all winning that game. Talk to us about what happened that game.
Yeah, the NCAA tournament is an awesome experience. For those student athletes that get a chance to participate in it. It's kind of something you won't forget, especially if you win a game or you win a couple games and you got a good run. Um, we in our first round we were an 8-9 matchup, so we were the yeah what were we the I think we were the 8 seed. I think we were the 8 seed in Ole Miss. We played Ole Miss. They were a 9 seed. Um, and yeah, man, like the vibes were crazy. We played them in. It was just a random South Carolina, I think, neutral site.
Mm-hmm.
And the atmosphere was crazy. We beat them pretty good, so it wasn't like a very nerve wracking game. But yeah, I think I played pretty well. Good team effort. Um, but it wasn't a game we was kind of really stressing about. But then, after that game, we played Virginia, and this is the Virginia team that ended up winning it all. They took the whole cake. They had Kyle Guy, they
Mm-hmm.
had Andre Hunter, Ty Jerome. They had Diakite. They had some guys, Braxton Key. They had a really good team, a really, really good team with a really good defense. And we weren't really making shots that night. They were the better team that night and probably other nights too. So um, that's when our run ended, shy of the Sweet 16. But yeah, man, the tournament, that's something you kind of just remember forever. They roll out the red carpet for you. You got your school spirit. Everybody fly down. My family was able to make it. Um, I think
Pops came through.
Pops came through. Pops came through. It should be a picture somewhere on my IG. I think my mom's, my pops, my big brother came through. I don't know if my big sister was in the picture. She wasn't really big fan of a basketball, but it was a real special experience.
Okay. So you, like you said, you hold that near and dear. So out of the 3 schools that you went to, where you think you had the most fun playing basketball?
The most fun playing basketball, I would have to say Pacific.
Yeah.
My second school in the middle, because it's weird, man. When you know basketball and basketball players, like the smaller the team, it's kind of like the more confidence you have because you kind of going to be able to stay in through mistakes, through turnovers, through missed shots. So at Pacific,
when you say the smaller the team, how big you want that team to be? 8 players instead of 10?
Man, I want coach playing me as much as possible. So I was thinking like 7, 8. I'm trying to play as much as possible. So at Pacific, I think we was playing, by the end of the season, we was playing like literally 7 guys. And there were a lot of games where I would play the whole game. So maybe sit out maybe a minute or 2 here, but through that I was
you
able
could do that when you got Coco 5 in your life.
You could do that, right? When you was hydrated and in shape as that, you can do that. But yeah, that was I think my most fun at Pacific. I played for Coach Damon Stoudemire. Damon Stoudemire, one of the best point guards.
From Portland?
From
in
Portland.
Toronto?
Yeah, your bub. It was Damon Stoudemire, Arizona Wildcat legend, Portland Trail Blazer legend, top lottery pick to the first ever draft pick of the Toronto Raptors.
Nice.
Lottery pick, man. So that was my coach. That was my dog. He was actually he's the reason I went to Pacific because I had
really. How did that talk to us? How? What do you mean? How that happen?
Bro, he the reason. Like, after my sophomore year of college, I was looking for a new opportunity, and the agent I was working with, he was like, Pacific really wants you. Coach Damon Stoudemire loves you. You guys have known each other for a little bit. So I was like, okay, I'll take a visit out there. And took a visit out there. It's in Stockton, Northern California. And, I really liked it. And good academic school because my mom always had to check off on the academics. So she met with one of the advisors for the business school. And they had a really, really good, tough business school. It's the Eberhard School of Business and Finance. And it was a really, really good business school, I thought. And, so it kind of checked the boxes. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Obviously he really wanted me. So I was actually his first recruit ever. It was his first head coaching job. I was his first recruit. And
y'all see why I said I need to interview Miles, bro. I'm telling you, bro, this is special shit, bro. So crazy. The first time he became a head coach for the college, you was his first recruited player.
I was his first recruited player. Yeah,
that's amazing, bro. Seriously, bro.
Yeah, thank you. No, it was awesome. I love Coach Stoudemire. I literally just went and saw him at Georgia Tech. Now he's coaching at Georgia Tech. He worked his way up the ladder, man. So he's coaching in the what's Georgia Tech in the ACC now. So he's come a long way. So I went and saw him.
So hold on, can you break that down for the fans that don't know? I'm one of the fans that don't know. Is what, like, from college divisions, the ACC from the SEC? Is it like tougher in each division? Like which is from toughest to least toughest competitive? Like, is it like that?
Yeah, yeah. So you got traditionally, right? Obviously, there's outliers everywhere, but traditionally, there's what's called the Power Five conferences. You know, the Big Five, and within that, that's the SEC, the ACC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, and it used to be the Pac 12 or the Pac 10. I'm not too sure what it is right now. I'm not gonna lie, but within those schools, those are kind of like the big university, you know,
Mhm.
bringing in a lot more money, a lot more
Mhm.
this and that. So,
All
you know,
D1.
all D1, all D1,
Mhm.
all that's D1. Everything
So
I'm about to say,
all the schools you went to was D1 too, right?
yeah, every school I went to, D1. Yep. And
Mhm.
what Pacific was Pacific and St. Louis. So St. Louis was in the Atlantic 10. It's a mid major. So
Mhm.
the five conferences I listed first, they're called high major schools.
Mhm.
Then you drop down, and then you have mid major conferences like the WCC, like the Atlantic 10, you know, and then those schools you have like VCU, you know, you have St. Louis. Then,
Mhm.
you know, on the West Coast, WCC is the West Coast Conference. So it's, like I said, Pacific, Pepperdine, Gonzaga, St.
Mhm.
Mary's, BYU, all good schools, you know.
Mhm.
So when I was transferring, I was like, I kind of looked at the styles of play in each different conferences. Not saying I had an offer on the table from all different conferences, but I knew I kind of wanted to stay in the mid major, um, and then try to build up. And the WCC West Coast Conference was, I think, a perfect fit for me because
Mhm.
it was like very guard oriented and you know, a lot of pick and roll, a lot of just able to, you know, if you can play, you can play, and a lot more professional, pro style, I should say, style of play. And man, I absolutely love the West Coast Conference. I played against some good players out there.
Yeah, yo. So thank you for that because I did not know that. I'm gonna watch that in the playback because I ain't get all of that to the exact.
Hmm.
Um, what I want to ask you is, moving 5 hours away is different from moving all the way to California. So just as a student athlete, like what was that like, that transition moving that far away from home? Because that's like really moving. If you move 5 hours away, you don't really like feel like you that far away from home. Like, yeah, you away from home, but it ain't like California, you know what I'm saying? So like just talk to us about that transition for as a student athlete. What was that like for you?
Man, the transition to go all the way across the country, um, I loved it. You know what I'm saying? I was never the homesick type because um my mom, she was at like almost every game, you know. Definitely my first couple of years and at Oklahoma. But in college, and at Pacific, she was at a lot of the games too. So I was constantly seeing family. My pops would roll through when he could. Um, you know, so things like that. It wasn't like I was just isolated. And at the same time, we had a close basketball team. I think the team has a lot to do with how comfortable um, players get when they're that far from home. You know, we had a really close group of guys, kind of like a brotherhood. So I wasn't really missing home too much. It wasn't too big of an adjustment for me. And at that time, I was a little older. You know, I was a junior year. But the first couple of years, I did get a little homesick. At St. Louis, I would drive back. You know, on the weekends.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah, Christmas, Thanksgiving. We always
Christmas.
had a tournament, but definitely Christmas, and you know,
Mhm.
right after the season, I was ready to get back. But Pacific, I was cool, man. I was just so focused on my craft and getting better. You know, summertime, I did summer school. So I think class would end like first week of May, second week of May. And then the third week of May, I was already in school again, doing summer school, trying to get ahead on my credits and classes. So, and at the same time, that's like the best time to get better too, because you have an hour of class a day, and then the rest you could, just go work out, lift, and um, kind of take your game to the next level.
So hold on. Now I'm thinking, I'm trying to connect the dots. It seemed like you always with Coco 5, like you bought in early since your pops was a part of it and invested in it early. Like, did you go specifically to college for business finance because?
No, so Coco Five, I never could have predicted any of this. But from my dad's, his finance background, I think it just kind of instilled in me like my love for numbers and my love for math. Ever since like I was a kid in middle school, lower school, kindergarten even, I was like the math geek. I was on the math team, some in middle school. Like I was really gifted with numbers. Other subjects, they had me at a lot of the times, but math, I was the guy. Um, so I kind of knew I wanted to stay within, fields that had to do with math and numbers. And with my dad working in finance, I kind of thought that was like, my kind of destination. So that's kind of how that played out.
All right, that's what's up. Yo, man. Again, like I said, I appreciate this. And I didn't know if you had a nickname or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I was trying to think of something cool to say. And you know what I came across? To be honest with you, Magnificent Mile. I went to go. I had peeped something in Chicago. Y'all got something
Yeah.
like a whole strip called Magnificent Mile where y'all got a bunch of like everything, like clothes, shopping, fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that a real thing out there where it's popping out there at Magnificent Mile? Nobody calls you
Yeah.
that, by the way, right?
No, they do, but that's so funny you said that. One of the high school reporters, his name is Kenny McReynolds. That was kind of
Okay.
his nickname for me. In high school, he would call me the Magnificent Mile. Um, but yeah, the Magnificent Mile in Chicago is kind of like the shopping street down Michigan Avenue. The downtown area. So you got all the luxury shops. You know what I'm saying? You got the Louis, the Pradas, all that good stuff. And then you got the good restaurants. It's kind of just like the downtown luxury to parts of the city.
Mm-hmm. But like, let's call it what it is, bro. I know you a celebrity for real in Chicago. I seen you with G Herbo. Like, you real low key, modest, and you know what I'm saying, I get it, bro. But like, talk to us, bro. Like, you a real celebrity. Like, what was you doing with? And G Herbo was listening to you. Like, it wasn't like you was at a G Herbo concert and you like chilling backstage and like just like I'm part of the clicked up and nothing like that. Nah, he was listening to you talk, like, you know what I mean, had the floor, and you was talking to the people, you know what I'm saying? So talk to us, talk like you I know you a celebrity, you know what I mean, but talk to me, like, what was happening that day, bro? Talk to me, like, what's up?
Man, you funny, bro. I ain't no celebrity. In Chicago, it's just when you from Chicago and you're like actually from Chicago and you do everything from the ground up from Chicago from 0 to 18 till you get to college. You meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of different types of people. Form a lot of different relationships. So, my relationship with Herb, that's man, we go way way back because one of my former teammates back in like eighth and ninth grade, um, you know, he was Herb's, um, he's like Herb's brother, best friend. His name's Greg Jackson. RIP Greg Jackson, one of the best people I've ever met.
I
And
know.
it's thank you. And he was like Herb's brother, Herb's best friend. So that's kind of how we met, like in man, like eighth, ninth grade, honestly. And you know, obviously our high schools, we had different high schools journeys and paths, and you know, he was rapping and you know, trying to, you know, survive the streets basically, and I was just basketball. But you know, rappers love basketball, bro. Um, so
That's true.
when Herb was blowing up, when he was like 15, 16, 17, that was like our freshman, and we're the same year. We're the same age. You know, we're born 2 days apart.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh
he's
wow, okay,
born
that's
yeah, he's
cool.
born on the 8th. I'm on the 10th, so of October.
All
So
right.
you know, he would come to some games. You know, we played our big games. We would play them at Chicago State. Um, they had to move some of our games to the colleges because we had so much ticket demand. You know, when we played Simeon, Jabari
All right.
Parker's high school. You know, number 2 pick.
Simeon, hold on. That Rose play for that school?
Yeah, that's D Rose old school. D Rose, Jabari Parker, Kendrick
Hmm.
Nunn, Taylor Horton Tucker. That's some real dogs. Um, so you know, we've been real tight since high school, and it kind of just, you know, traveled all the way through adulthood, luckily, and that's one of my good friends. I love her.
That's
But now
what's up.
to go back to your point, now no celebrity. Just when you're from Chicago, you kind of get in tune with a lot of different people and a lot of different, um, you know, friendships can form from it.
I mean, I did see you with Charles Barkley, bro. I seen you, bro. The Animal Kingdom know you, bro. I seen you hug an elephant. I seen you chilling with a chimpanzee on you like this and shit. I
That's
was
just side quest. That's just side quest, man.
I said he know everybody. He even know animals. Yo, chat, he was feeding a baby lion. It was like a baby jaguar in his lap. I'm, I'm like, yo, I had no idea.
Yeah,
Like the animals love him. Everybody loves this guy, man. I'm telling you, you meet this guy, you're going to know this guy is to love this guy, man.
man.
Shout out to
Appreciate it.
Miles, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man.
This just a real Coco Five question. What's your favorite flavor of Coco Five?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm a cherry guy. I like the natural coconut and the cherry as my favorites, but I mean, this is actually my first day having, you know, the grape sneak peek for your breezy fans. You know what I'm saying? This
Yeah, you
grape
see,
probably,
look. You see Trey
yeah,
Special. He said drinking about unreleased Coco Five. Great, love in the interview. Salute, gentlemen. Yeah, so you getting good reviews off it already. So that's what's up.
no, this is good, man. But I think this might be my new favorite, Bree. You'll know once you try it next week. I'm gonna get you in tune.
I appreciate you.
Mhm.
I again, like I got love for the pineapple, but lime is my favorite, man.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? I again, like I told you, you know what I mean? I hoop with it. Like, so I didn't eat nothing that day. So I'm like,
Mm.
I'm gonna test it out. You know what I'm saying? He said it's what
Yeah.
it is. I'm gonna go test it out, bro. On an empty stomach. I went to the park. I was hoping the only thing I had was 2 Coco 5s. Yo, that 2 Coco 5s got me through 3 hours of basketball, bro. I was good. I was good, bro. I was hooping. And then, you know, of course, I went home. I got right. I ate and all of that. But just, I didn't need nothing else but 2 Coco 5s in basketball. And I was good till like 12 noon. And I was at the park from till like 8, 9. So
Man.
I know uh from myself, from me to y'all, that Coco 5, the whole hydration thing, it worked, bro. It worked, especially the lime. I might be saying that because I'm biased because it's my favorite flavor, but yeah, man, that shit is good.
It
So
worked, man.
it was always cherry. And so because I don't think that was the
No,
original
no, it
flavor.
wasn't. It wasn't always cherry. It changes. It
Okay.
changes. That's the thing. Like my favorite flavor changes every like year or two, every couple of years. So it used to be limon, you know, the
Mhm.
lime one. Um, that was my old favorite, but it was never coconut until recently. I don't know. Some of them it's just like an acquired taste. You kind of just get used to it, and you just kind of start loving it. But that's the beauty of having 6 flavors now going to 7. it's different strokes for different folks. It might be, one flavor that's not for you. It might be somebody else's favorite, as you and I just saw right now.
Yeah, I got lime first, passion fruit second,
Mm,
pineapple third.
okay.
Uh, then I'm gonna say the cherry, the orange, and then
And then the
the
coconut.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah, then the original. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I feel you. That's not a bad list. That's not a bad list. Limon used to be at the
Yeah,
top of my promise. I promise it did.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, man. Again, man, I wasn't going to try to make this a super duper long interview, but I did want to let you know it is a revolving door. You know what I'm saying? You anytime, like when that one is finally released, if you want to pull up and just talk about it, you know what I'm saying? Let us know. You know what I mean? Um, I would definitely love to have you back on the interview. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was like one or two more things I wanted to ask you. You got a minute? You got a minute?
Yeah, we good.
All right, all right. So in a nutshell, can you just kind of articulate on how basketball can employ you outside of being a player? Like you don't have to be a player to be employed by basketball. Like there's a lot of opportunities that basketball can bring you outside of being a player.
Man, a ton. And I'm experiencing it firsthand. You know what I'm saying? A lot of my, the guys that I work with today, it comes from basketball. Almost everything from my life comes from basketball. Not everything, but a lot of it. Um, and kind of using those relationships you meet through basketball and what you learn through persistency through basketball and hard work because college is a grind. If someone's playing in D1, um, they put in a lot of work, especially at those mid-major levels. Those were some of the schools where I put in the most work. So seriously, so when you're able to use that, and even if you're not a future NBA player or draft pick, you can use what you learned and who you've met to shape out your life and kind of create a lane for yourself. And I was able to do that in finance. A lot of the players that I work with now, they were hitting me up back in 2015, when they were in the draft, and to put them in touch with my dad and help them get their finances in order from day one. And then within that, we were kind of just take it to another different level. So, basketball, it's a gateway, man, to a ton of different opportunities. Who you meet, the things you learn, it could really shape out your whole life.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you because again, like I said, I'm a fan of you. Again, like I said, this is fan of the people where I bring special people like Miles Reynolds on the show to explain why they special. You know what I'm saying? Everybody not gonna be on TV or television because there's just they're pretty much athletes. They and artists, music artists, they wanna celebrate. But in this show, fan of the people, I feel like there's more than one kind of a occupation that you could celebrate or things that people got going that you could celebrate. So again, like I said, thank you. But again, to add to Miles Reynolds, of what he says. Now, this is a quote of yours, and I wanted to, just say this and ask you, do you apply this in your off the court and on the court? You said, I always wanted to lead by example to my teammates, not only vocally, but primarily through hard work and my actions. Um, so do you think that applies to life outside of basketball, or you could carry that with basketball? You feel what I'm trying to say? Like mindset wise?
Mindset wise, I take that with me, everywhere. I take that on the court, off the court. That's just a way of life. Nobody wants to see their, see somebody ahead of them or in front of them or whatever the terminology may use, their boss. Um, they don't want to see them not doing the things that they preach. You can't preach the value of hard work and um, got you, Jermaine. I got you. That's one of my dogs right there.
Shout out to Jermaine.
Shout out Jermaine. But yeah, you can't preach hard work and all those things to people that you work with if you aren't doing it them yourself. So that's something that's always I've lived with in basketball. I was always one of the hardest workers. I was always one of the first to practice, last to leave. I was always getting extra reps. I was just trying to give myself the little competitive advantages that would help me get to that next level, that would help me get, a better future. So that's something that's super important, man.
So let me that leads to the next quote, and one of my favorites. I'm not gonna lie, because again, it's good to hear this, and I did hear it from like Kobe mentality, part of what he was saying, but not in those words. And you use your own words. So this was another comment that a quote that you said that I wanted to bring up tonight, because I thought it was dope. You said, I wanted to do anything that gave me a competitive advantage, and etc. Then it says, and I knew in some instances I wasn't always going to outplay them. I had to outsmart them. So yeah, just talk to us about that comment. I thought that was some slick shit to say, man. That's slicker than a patch of ice, man. I like that, man. Talk to me, man.
Yeah, man. That still applies in business too. That it's a saying, you got to work smarter, not harder. And it's true. Like, the more you can be strategic with your moves and kind of how you plot things out, the better it's gonna work out for you. There's gonna be people that in the world I live in, we got to take different exams, and whatever the case may be. There might be people that might have a better exam score on some different series licenses or something like that. But that doesn't mean they're going to be more successful than you. That just means they might be a little bit more book smart than you. So when you're able to
use your own advantages, which
exactly.
Yeah.
When you're able to use your own competitive advantages and get creative and strategic, you're able to kind of close the gap, in a lot of the different things that you might lack. So, and just like with basketball, I wasn't the most talented every night on the court. That wasn't the case, but I knew that, okay, I might have watched some good film on this guy. I know what he's about to do. I know he loves to, hang, dribble, crossover right to left. I might pick him one time and get a nice fast break lay.
But just real quick, slowing it down, because I heard you say that, and I ain't get to segue into that. But now that you bring it up again, how important is watching film to, become a better basketball player?
I mean, shoot, it's just like in school, right? If you're in school and you got an exam and you don't study for the exam, you're probably not going to be as prepared as you want to be. But, if you do study for the exam, you're going to go into that test confident.
Word.
Some of the time it don't work like that. But in basketball, that was kind of like my mentality. I always wanted to be as prepared, as confident, and confident as possible. So when I knew other players' tendencies or what they like to do, or however I could get a competitive advantage, I was going to study the heck out of it.
No doubt. Word.
Yeah. That was very important.
I just, like I said, I ain't want to focus on the whole thing of you being a celebrity and all that, but just real quick, man, how did you take a picture of Obama? Like, how did that happen? Like, how did you meet Obama?
Oh, we go back. So Obama,
you and Obama go way back, like 4 flats on the Cadillac.
Man, you seen it? You seen it? And that's not even the oldest picture. I got pictures, but I was way younger, circulating around online somewhere. But the school I went to, middle school, was called Lab School in Hyde Park, south side of Chicago. The Obamas, Malia and Sasha, went there too, Barack's daughters. And so I was cool with his daughter. They were a little bit younger, but we were cool. And then this is how it all stems from our parents. My dad, he was doing some work with the Obama at the time, like helping him fundraise for his election campaigns. So they were always spending time together working, and my dad would let me come around sometimes and hop on some of the trips. One year we went to the Democratic National Convention in 2007 in Denver. That trip was awesome.
Wow, that is incredible, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy because Obama, he was the senator of Illinois before he was president. So, I mean, it was crazy. It's surreal seeing him go such a long way and go from a senator to a president, and really such a short span of time. But yeah, that's how that kind of came about.
Okay. Wow. That was incredible, man. I had no idea, you know what I mean? Real quick, man. And I'm not asking you to say it in the who's better sense, but being from Chicago, y'all respect our pizza? How you feel about our pizza out here?
I don't know, man. It ain't like Chicago. Y'all got the thin. Y'all got the thin. Y'all got.
What's wrong with the pizza, man?
I don't know if y'all need some more. I don't know if y'all need some more crust, salsa, cheese. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta go get me another.
I heard y'all got too much. I heard y'all got a whole pie. Like it's a whole. You could use a spoon to eat pizza. Like, come on, man.
No, that's just the deep dish. That's just the deep dish. But there's other. Chicago, I like deep dish too, but I like the non-deep dish, the traditional thin crust. But it's just more filling. New York is like a little thin. I don't know. Chat, what y'all think, man? New York pizza, Chicago, y'all gotta tap in.
Yeah, man, tap in, man.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, man. I'm gonna try to link with Miles to get some great Coco 5 wanted sometime soon. I need y'all to like, share, comment, subscribe. I need y'all to share the page. You feel what I'm saying? I need y'all to go out and get some Coco 5. Now, what's in the New York area? How could they get Coco 5?
So New York area, you can go to recently. We just closed off in Gristedes.
Okay, they got the Christie's over there by the 2 train over there by Clark Street.
The Gristedes, all these are setting like as we're speaking. D'Agostino's,
they got that in Manhattan. I remember going to D'Agostino's
in Manhattan.
Man.
So those two right now, but more coming every day. Like just keep in tune with the store locator. Keep checking. Stay updated. Our social media page will have all new regions we penetrate and expansion. So just stay tapped in and you'll find us.
All right. So what's the social media page?
Drink Coco 5 at Drink Coco 5.
Okay, at Drink Coco 5, and yours, can they follow you on IG anywhere?
Yeah, my page is public. At Miles Ray. I was one of my high school too. That was everybody called me Ray. So my first coach, Miss Foster, she called me Ching Ching. Because my jumper,
she call you that?
Ching Ching, my jumper was money. When she needed a bucket, you know who to call. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's fire. You said they call him Ching Ching because his jumper was money. That's the first time I ever heard that shit. That shit is dope. That's hilarious, bro.
Yeah, that's what they call me. It's still, if people knew me like back then, they still call me that sometimes. But man, if you know about that one, you've known me for some time. Yeah.
All right. So with the whole none of your friends and family call you Magnificent Miles. Nobody.
Nah. That was just when I would play on TV. The announcers they would kind of have fun and call me that. But no, not in real life.
All right. So y'all know where to find them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see what it is. This is dope. Like I said, it's a revolving door. You could pull up. We could do this again. But again, thank you, man. You know what I'm saying? This is my first Fan of the People episode of the year, and because of this, it give me the motivation to just keep doing them, because this is, in my opinion, a great episode. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, thank you for this, Miles. I appreciate you, bro.
Nah, man, this was dope. This was dope, man. I hope the people enjoyed. Got to know me a little bit. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
the next one, man. This is just scratching the surface.
I appreciate you, man. All right, y'all, we out, man. We gonna get with y'all later, y'all. Peace.
Appreciate